Good night or good evening, everyone. We are excited to announce Danny Francesco with Commonwealth Properties to talk about Renaissance Flats, a new affordable apartment building in Talent. So please take it away, Danny.
Sure. Thanks, Cass. Appreciate you guys letting me hop on here. And so, as Cass mentioned, I'm Danny DeFrancesco with Commonwealth Development, and we are currently in the process of developing an affordable housing 72-unit project in the city of Talent. And so I have a PowerPoint here that I'll share my screen, but just kind of wanted to give you some background on Commonwealth Development and kind of how we got here. So Commonwealth Development is a top 10 national affordable housing developer. We strictly mainly focus on affordable housing developments throughout the U.S. We have currently 4 projects in the state of Oregon with a couple others in the pipeline. So this isn't our first project. I must admit, Darren Murphy was the previous developer on this project, and he was the one that really brought this specific project to Talent as he saw that there was a big need due to the 2020 wildfires. And, we understand that, this community in Jackson County, city of Talent, city of Phoenix, and the surrounding area was devastated by those fires, and know that there needs to be a substantial rebuild as, thousands have lost their homes. So we recognized that there was a need for rebuilding this affordable housing. And so Darren, being the great developer that he is, identified this site, and this site has been probably, call it 2.5 years in the making. And so we broke ground last August when we closed with our investor and lenders. And so now we're hoping to have it come online we're shooting for November, October of this year, with the potential of doing phase occupancy where we could possibly get hopefully half of the units online by August or September. And so with that, I'll just share my screen here and kind of just go through Renaissance Flats. Let's see here. Can you guys see my screen?
No.
Let's try it again here.
Now we can.
Perfect. Let me zoom in on this. All right. So yeah, like I said, this is Renaissance Flats. This is located at 232 Talent Avenue. You can see here, there's a outline of the site. So this is I got another slide here. So as I mentioned, Commonwealth Development is the developer on this project. The property manager is going to be Viridian Management. They're out of the state of Oregon. They have multiple, they're one of the biggest property management companies in the state of Oregon. They have a bunch of projects in Jackson County, specifically in Talent and city of Phoenix. And then we have operation partners with Access and Unite as well. And so I know some people that may be on this might have worked with Unite or Access, but they are also our partners on this and providing services to those that need it.
Great.
And so for Renaissance Flats, and I have questions and answers at the end, but if someone wants to stop me, this can be interactive, so you don't have to hear me just blab on here. But this is a 72-unit affordable multifamily project. It's 100% affordable. And so it's all 2 and 3 bedroom units. So 36 2 bedrooms, 36 3 bedrooms. There's 6 residential buildings, and then there's 1 building with a clubhouse. And so we're meeting the codes with parking, as well as bicycle parking. We have a playground for kids, as well as having a couple of raised garden beds that residents will be able to have in their use. Here's a bigger photo of the site plan. So I kind of on my laptop, but here this is Talent Avenue. And as you come in, there's going to be the 1-story building clubhouse. And then there is 6 residential buildings that basically go all around, kind of just provides like a rectangle. And again, they're fairly identical with 6 2 bedrooms and 6 3 bedrooms. And then the playground is off here to the side, along with some green space, as well as the raised garden beds. There's one on the south end of the site, and then one on the northwest of the site. as well as there's covered bike parking for those for their your use as well. This is just a floor plan of the clubhouse, and so Viridian Management will have an on-site property manager, full-time, as well as maintenance. And so there's going to be a leasing office for that property manager, as well as having a fitness center with some, treadmills, ellipticals, bike stations, mechanical and maintenance room for, the maintenance director to have for his space, as well as a community room that will have like a kitchenette. And basically what we look there is, tenants will be able to reserve that if they want to have, family or friends, say for a birthday or anything else, for special occasions, as well as, being able to occupy it during the typical office hours, as well as a business center. So there will be 2 computers as well,
Nice.
for the residents' use too. And there's a picture up here that's kind of a, printer, have access to a computer if they need it. So that's typically, how our clubhouse works. And again, it would be a full-time property manager, and I'm either a part-time or full-time maintenance. I'm not sure where Viridian's landing on that. And then this is this is their standard 2-bedroom unit. So this is roughly 820 square feet. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's going to have in-unit laundry. In all the units, all units have that. Walk-in closets for the master bedroom, and then the bathroom is then off to the side next to the master bedroom side. So that's your 3-bedroom. And then the 3-bedroom is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, again, with in-unit laundry. Here on this specific floor plan, you have 2 of the bathrooms located to the left of the dining, where the master bedroom has its own private bathroom, full bath. And then there's one right next to it. Say if there's a family, that would be for the kids, as well as for guest use. And so this is roughly 1,050 square feet. And, with the multiple projects we do, this is a pretty efficient layout, while still providing the necessary space for, whether it's family or friends or roommates or what have you. So, that's our typical 3-bedroom for this project. I'm not sure if anyone has I should pause, or if anyone has any questions or comments.
No, it just looks really good. And 1,050
Yeah.
square feet is pretty good size.
Yeah, and it'll look better when you can walk in them. I know,
Yeah.
these are the architectural plans, so these aren't the pretty versions. And Viridian Management, which I'll get to here, they plan to have marketing materials that obviously will pretty these up. And so basically they're putting together the marketing packet and brochures right now. And then, once we release it to everyone based on like the fair housing laws, then everyone can, apply. And I see I think someone has their hand up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Jose has his hand up. Yeah.
I did have a question about fire hardening the property, and if you guys are going to be doing that as you build.
Fire hardening as in like fire rating?
Yeah, like fire resistant materials.
Yeah. So
Plants,
yeah, right.
Like that.
Non-ember intrusion.
Yeah, so I do know we are building per the Earth Advantage, which is an Oregon state. Basically, it's one thing is it's to build your building as efficiently and as green as possible, as well as the fire rating is based on per code. So I can dig into the specifics of that, but I know the architect and the engineers basically there's like 2-hour fire ratings, and wherever everything's required to be built. It's per the city of Talent and Jackson County, who's the one that reviewed those plans. It's built per that code. So I'm not sure what specifics on that fire rating that it would be. And Cass, I think one thing too that we could do is, if I'm not able to answer a question, because I know there might be some more marketing questions tailored to Viridian Management, feel free to compile a list and send them to me, and then I'll do my best to get you those answers if I can't answer them.
Perfect. Yeah, fire hardening stuff kind of tends to have to do with the siding being more of a concrete composite versus
Yeah,
wood,
so
like a
this is
hardy wood.
more, yeah, so it's more of a fiber cement siding.
Oh, good.
Yep,
Okay.
so that's typically what we've done, and what we do on these. And there's very minimal brick on this. It's most of the siding you'll see here in the project rendering.
Mhm.
Uh, and again, this is 3-story. Again, they're walk-up units. You can see here, this is like the covered bike parking. Here's actual construction photos.
Cool.
So yeah, these were taken as of last week. So again, they're starting on the south end side and building around. So these are the most furthest along buildings. And that's where we're looking to hopefully do a phased occupancy, where we could hopefully get some of these units online earlier, than have to wait for all of them. It's just that it's a tight site. But we did speak with the city and, they're willing to work with us to hopefully get them on sooner than later.
Awesome.
And are you guys willing to consult somebody about plants around the building? Because in that last picture you showed, I noticed there was plants up against windows, and those are the main reasons that windows explode during fires, is that there's
Okay.
combustibles right up against them.
Yeah, so I do. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, except for I can't tell what those bushes are, the grasses don't look super dangerous as far as
No.
most likely being, they wouldn't burn long enough to actually send
Yeah.
embers.
So the big thing with the city, was obviously with the devastation of the wildfires was saving the trees that were on this site as
Mhm.
best as possible.
Yeah.
So when we first started this, we had all the buildings down here, on the south side, but that was basically going to be eliminating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trees.
Oh.
And that was kind of a no-no for the city, which is, fine, but so then we had to reshuffle things. So basically we saved as many trees as possible, while still being able to make the project financially feasible. In regards to the landscape plans, I'm not sure who asked that question. Yeah, so this is just a rendering. Don't put too much stock in this because again, it's just kind of more of for the building standpoint. But I can try to pull, or I can get the landscape plan and see what's there. Again, we had to meet the city's requirements for, certain landscape requirements, which, again, they want to see, plants and trees around. So, we are mindful of that again, while trying to save as many of the trees, as possible. And then, yeah, this is just another site. So this photo here is as if you're driving into the project. So this was the building over here that I showed earlier. And then that would be looking west.
Towards the railroad tracks.
Correct. Yes. Right behind that, the building that's dead center of us is the railroad tracks behind there.
Mhm.
And then as you can see, these other 2 buildings on the right side are the last ones that will be coming online. And so, yeah, we're currently drywalling in some of them. And we're hoping to start, we're getting cabinets measured and hoping to get those delivered on, the first buildings here on the left-hand side, yet this month. So again, they're Adroit Construction. They're a local general contractor out of Ashland. Tom Walker and his team, they're doing great work, and, they're moving at a great pace. And we've been, it's our first project with them and couldn't be, they're great to work with.
I didn't know Tom Walker was with Detroit. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Him
sure
and,
he was
yeah.
he went to Phoenix High School.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and his
Yeah.
dad used to own Jim's Bitter Buys, which is, well, it's still on the corner of Rap and 99, but it's not operational anymore.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Tom and his team.
Great.
So yeah, so no, we that's one of the other things too that we, try to pride ourselves on is, when we are doing a project, we want to be as local as possible, while obviously still remaining competitive with our pricing. So basically Adroit's the third party GC on this, and, I think they have a lot of subs in the local area, that are providing this work, which I think is great for, economy, of the Jackson County, Medford-Jackson County area.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Michael, it looks like you have a question. What's up?
Yeah, a few of them in comments. The comment, I'm impressed with the parking you've got. For 3 stories, I'm sure you've done the math, but it looks like it's pretty adequate. And there may be space for people who have, say, trailers, if they are in the landscaping business and such, that they would be able to fit in this? Question
Yeah,
mark?
Michael. So I believe the parking requirements for the city, I want to say we're roughly 1.5 to 1.75 stalls per unit.
Uh-huh.
And in regards to the trailers, that was something that was voiced when speaking with Unite and Access. And so what I would say for that is, right, if tenants aren't able to park there, I'd like to think there is adequate parking, right? But if a tenant's trying to park and a trailer's taking up 4 stalls and then a tenant has to park on the side street, I think there's going to be issues that I would foresee. So again, if there's like a couple, yeah, right. And I understand that. So I can't speak on that till we, I guess, know how many there are, right? Otherwise,
Yeah, I'm thinking of single axle trailer,
okay.
hitch on a hitch, that kind of thing with
Gotcha.
equipment. The other thing that impressed me was the recreation center, how completed was the recreation, the whole, everything you have there, and wonder, how'd you get away with that?
How do you get away with it?
Well, yeah, this goes into a question, and also I'm wondering, do you do trainings? We've had people who are working on other projects that have run into, some challenges that you guys seem to have mastered how to deal with.
In regards to the design and having a clubhouse?
And getting it passed and
I think they're
authorized and
probably
permitted.
using Boley.
What's that?
You're probably employing Boley in contractors, so that it wouldn't be the same kind of situation Michael's talking about.
What do you mean the bully? Or I guess I'm not following.
You're not. I mean, you're using Adroit Construction, so
right.
they are not like a low income. I mean, they're charging commercial rates.
Yeah, they don't give us a discount.
Right.
I can tell you that because this project was supposed to close in March of 2022. We put it out to bid, and I had to go to the state agency to ask for a couple more $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was put on hold.
Right.
So and that's nothing to Adroit. That's the product of the market, because it's everyone and their brother's busy right now, right? In construction, along with the increase in construction and interest rates. So it's kind of the perfect storm where we're trying to provide affordable housing, and your rents are at certain levels that you can't go higher than the county level. So it's not like if you're a market rate developer, those big, oh well, if we can bump up rents, that's how we can solve our problem. Mm-hmm. Well, for affordable housing, there's soft funds that we have to apply for, and they're competitive, and there's only a finite amount of them. So, we were fortunate and the state agency really did step up as they provided up what they call the market cost offset fund. And they stepped up to the plate, and that's what really got this project across the finish line.
Right.
But yes, I guess to answer your question, Michael, for the clubhouse piece, we always, at least from my standpoint, and even with the architects, we always try to provide as many amenities and services to residents as possible. And I look at it as, would it be a place that I'd want to live at, and with amenities. So, we always try to be mindful of that where we can add certain amenities and buildings like this. And, the city was very, the more the merrier in regards to amenities. So they didn't have any issues with it.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah, this is a different situation than I think Michael was envisioning with there's another housing project over in West Medford. That's a low income, affordable housing, 3D printed neighborhood. And but the situation here is that there's no services being provided at this clubhouse that people are being charged to use it. And that was one of the things they ran up against, is that they wanted to have a community building where they were going to have like daycare provided at a fee. And
Oh,
and so that's one of the things that Michael was wondering how you got away with
Yeah.
being able to do this, because
yeah,
it's a different situation, but
sure. Yeah, like the business center, again, the property's paying for like that internet usage.
Mhm.
And that the exercise equipment we're obviously paying for. We're not charging tenants to use it. You know, again, it's not going to be the biggest exercise fitness area, but it's, you know, it's something that where tenants are going to be able to use it at their disposal.
Yeah.
And then the community room, I don't think I'd have to double check. I don't think they charge for the community room to rent out. So I don't want to, and again, it wouldn't be like a huge amount, but I don't think that we charge for that. It's more so just planning it with the management team and making sure someone else doesn't have it reserved at that same time. And again, you know, we're going to have hours on that, so it's not open 24/7. Unless a resident, you know, has it reserved for that time.
Well, it's amazing that you are putting so much in, and it's like, sounds like kind of a financial tightrope to walk to make it all feasible to do.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very impressive that you're getting through this with a minimum, apparently it seems, of other than the delay, which everything got delayed.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the thing, is it's patience.
Yeah, right.
Like I said,
Patience,
this is like, yeah, that's like like I
perseverance.
mentioned, it's at the end of the day, it's going to be a 2.5-3 year project in the making,
Mhm.
because Darren, the previous developer, went in for these funds back in 2021. You know,
Before.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so the total capacity in families, so
So it's
70 units?
72 units. And actually a perfect segue here. So there's 36 2-bedrooms and then 36 3-bedroom units.
Mhm.
Again, they're roughly, so 816 square feet for the 2-bedrooms, and then roughly 1,050 for the 3-bedrooms. And this next slide, so what does that mean to some people? So as an example, so there we have 30% of the area median income, 50% of the area median income, and 60%. And so an example is, for a 30% area median income for a family of 4 would mean not making more than $22,900.
Mhm.
50 would be 38,200, and then 60 would be 48,840. And I do want to make a note that those are the 2022 income limits. The 2023 income limits, which HUD comes out with, they usually came out with them in April. This year, they're projecting to come out in May of 2023. And from what we've heard and what I think, or what we know, is that those limits will be increasing.
I think I might have them already, because I have higher numbers than you have.
Yeah, and that's for the Jackson County. So again,
Oh, whoops, I'm looking at 35, that's why. Never mind, I have the same numbers.
okay.
Mhm.
Yep. And so just further breakdown of that is, so what does that mean to some residents, potential residents, is, so there are 8 total units that are for 30% area median income. So as of 2022 rents, which again, 2023 can increase, so these can move up some. A 2-bedroom rent is $516, the max rent. 3-bedroom would be $596. 50% would be $860. For a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, $993, with the 60% being $1,032, and then a 3-bedroom being $1,192. So, and again, these can potentially increase with the 2023 rents, but again, you're not going to see, like, they're not going to jump up substantially. But again, we just don't know that till HUD comes out with that, with those rents. But again, this at least gives you some sort of an idea of where the rent levels are for what potential unit you're looking at.
Mhm.
Really appreciate seeing this. Yeah, there's a thing with rapid inflation. There's such a lag for the brain to catch up with it and really recognize this is affordable.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the market really determines it too, right? So
yes,
I
it
mean,
does. Yeah.
everyone, if say if a 60% rent, if you're in Portland's 1,500, but you know, people at that rent level are only paying 1,200, you're not
Yeah.
going to get the 1,500. So, you know, again, these are just the max rents, and I just kind of want to
Mhm.
show that,
Yeah.
you know, just so that people
Upper
are aware.
limit.
Yeah, the upper limit is correct.
Very good.
Yep.
And we're rural, relatively speaking, to Portland. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know, and yeah, no, I can go on a different tangent on something else, but yeah, you know, we'll stay on path with talent. And then, so the current timelines I mentioned, we started in August of last year. The marketing materials with Veridian, I'm in touch with them every other week. So they're ramping up the marketing materials. So they plan to go online, I believe, it's looking like May. It may be late April here in the next few weeks, but I haven't heard or seen anything. So it may be May. And again, they will be the main contacts. And Cass, I can give you the main contact at Veridian
Yes,
that's going to be
please.
kind of doing this.
Mhm.
And basically when we send it out, you know, there's no preference here. The goal of this project was for fire survivors, and we made that clear. OHCS, I mean, when we apply for these funds, obviously made that clear. We can't give preference, but we are working with UNETE. We're working with Access. I'm doing this with you guys because I want to make people that were affected by the wildfires, you know, aware of this housing. So again, it's just kind of that open communication we want to have with it, and we are looking to document it. I know there's a fine line with, I don't know how the fair housing works. I'm not an expert in that piece, but you know, I was informed by like Veridian or someone else that there is a way to kind of show to OHCS, like, hey, we have 72 units. Out of the 72, we have X amount that went to fire survivors. And so I know that there was some type of documentation for if you were a wildfire survivor. So again, Veridian can speak more intelligently on that. But neither here or there. I can give you their information once I know those marketing materials are coming online, and when people can start submitting like a pre-application.
Cool.
And so again, just construction completion, we're aiming for November 2023. In my honest opinion, I think they're going to beat that, but you don't want to overpromise.
Right.
And I'm speaking with the city, with Kristen Mays over there at the City of Talent, and potentially doing phased occupancy where we could at least potentially get half the units online by August or September, and then the remaining 50% of the units, 36 units, coming on towards the end of the year.
Yeah, December 8th is the 3-year anniversary of the Alameda fire.
Okay.
I mean, September. Did I say December? September.
You said
8th.
September. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just what you're doing is, I think, amazing.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Very exciting.
No, appreciate it. And like I said, you know, Darren Murphy was the head developer, and now I'm taking over his role. And I don't want to get ahead of my skis, but we did submit to OHCS for another project in the city of Phoenix. So we're hoping if we can get funding there, which we find out in the summer, you know, we're hoping we can kind of continue this. So I guess I'll just open it up to anyone else that has any other questions or comments, and hopefully I have the answers. And if not, I'll try to get them for you.
I just want to say I came in late and I'm like blown away by this. I feel really stoked to see something like this. And I live in Ashland right now, and there's nothing of this sort here. I'd love to see this in Ashland as well. I know that land is more expensive here, but I mean, the whole Rogue Valley needs it. So I'm really stoked about what I'm seeing. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you there somewhere, Zoya? Do you have any questions?
What, questions?
Yeah, questions, comments?
No, I'm okay.
So since no one's asking, like, so you're saying Phoenix, and is it the land cost that's a barrier for Ashland? Like, I'm curious, what makes this so successful, and how is this happening in talent, and how can we get it everywhere?
So, and that's why I shouldn't have said anything about the city of Phoenix, because I'm holding out hope. Yeah, no, we had to get an annexation for the
Ooh,
site and stuff
great.
like that. So we've already submitted. So yeah, no, they're pretty much on board. But again, let me digress because that's future. But yeah, no, Crystal, it really with OHCS, they obviously knew with the 2020 fires, they made it a priority. And so there was a category again. There's these funds that are very competitive that everyone applies throughout the state, and so there was a disaster recovery section, and really the city of Talent and city of Phoenix, as well as other areas within Jackson County based on census tracts, was where you could get more points per se. And so this was one of those sites where it was able to score favorably in that category, as well as just like I mentioned, or you might have came in late. We are an experienced developer, and we work in over 15 states. We have 4 projects in Oregon with a couple more in the pipeline. So, we've had good success here and a good experience with the state agencies. So really, it for these funds, it really kind of the state can sometimes drive you of where you're going to get sites and to score competitively. So Ashland, I'd have to look at it, and obviously, right, numbers have to work. So
Yeah.
There's been several attempts to to get approval to build affordable housing units in Ashland, and the Ashland City Council squashes them pretty much every time. And there's a few advocacy groups in Ashland that are against urban sprawl, and so there's a lot of challenges with bringing this to Ashland.
we've experienced that everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's or at least from my standpoint, I always try to go in and do a neighborhood meeting and be upfront with everyone
Mhm.
to address any concerns that they have, because you do get pushback from that. One, people just don't like change, especially if it's in their neighborhood. That's
Mhm.
one of the big things. And 2, it's kind of there can be a preconceived notion of what affordable housing means. And again, there's so much data out there now. The affordable housing program, LIHTC, has been around for now, over 35 years now. Program wasn't successful. It still wouldn't be around. It's a good public-private partnership. And I think another big key with Commonwealth is we're a long-term owner. So it's not like we're going in to develop this and we're not going to sell it in 3 years. We're here at least 15 years, 10, 15 years. I haven't been a part of one where affordable is different than market rate. You're not looking to, build it, lease it up and sell it. And that's just not what we are and what we do. So, again, that's another thing where, it's just an open discussion and, having neighborhood meetings to address any concerns that tenants might have, because sometimes they feel like you're trying to shove a square peg in a round hole, where it just might not make sense for a site. So, we try to be mindful of that.
Yeah, and distinguish yourself from the others, which we have seen that you're describing.
Mhm.
Zoya, you have a question?
Flippers.
So like in Phoenix, they're trying to build affordable housing. Is that what's happening? Is that what we're talking about? Ashland and affordable housing and talent? Because I'm just trying to understand, because does it include like Dunrovin? Is that anything a part of what we're talking about?
No, this is a specific project that's being built on Talent Avenue.
Sorry, yeah, that's why I should have just kept my mouth shut.
No, it's okay.
This is City of Talent. This project's called Renaissance Flats. It's located at 232 Talent Avenue.
Okay.
So
you know
that's
you know where Shady Brook Park is, Zoya?
No, I just remember my house and and Blue Heron Park. So yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you.
I'm curious. I'm a part of the Ashland Housing Committee, and I've not seen anything. I've just been starting to participate in these meetings, and we're looking at creative housing solutions. And part of the committee is to inform the council with realistic solutions. And I'm wondering, if I bring this up to the committee, would there be interest in coming in and educating the committee with this presentation so that we can at least spread the word to the Ashland community and have something to sink our teeth into in terms of informing the city council of something realistic that could happen here?
Sure. I think another thing would be when this project gets up and running, they could tour the site.
Yes. The committee could tour the site and then we could bring, yes.
Yeah, we'll do a grand opening. And so
Okay.
the state agents, we'll invite the state agency, local community members, and then obviously you guys will be aware of this. So you can invite people from Ashland, if they so choose to want to stop by and check it out. So yeah, we always, we'll do a grand opening. So we try to, if this is going to be, well, I guess your winters aren't as bad. I'm from Wisconsin, so
No, they're not like
when I think of
Wisconsin.
December, it's like you don't really want to do one when it's like 5 degrees out and you're frigid cold, and yeah, no one wants to be outside. So yeah, Jackson County is different winter than us. So yeah, we'll do one probably around then. But yeah, we'll always look to do like a grand opening. So that's where we like to, we're proud of what we're building, and I think we got a great team from the management, obviously construction and development standpoint.
Yeah, Crystal, you could be the point person to sway Ashland and melt their hearts.
Heck yes. I'm just wondering, how do we stay in the loop for the grand opening and just on this project in general?
Well, they are on the bus tour schedule.
Oh, perfect. I'll be on that bus tour.
Yes, you will.
Nice.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I'll just keep looped in.
And I mentioned to Cass about the bus tour. It will be an active construction site, so unfortunately, we're not going to be able to let people go onto into the buildings, unfortunately. So that's kind of the bummer piece about it. But yeah, I mean, obviously when we do that bus tour site, I know I spoke with you, Cass, you'll at least be able to come by and see it. And then I know if we're able to do that phased occupancy, we'll have to get occupancy, because the city just won't let anyone just be able to go on a active construction site, and want to make sure Viridian's there and a droid's comfortable with that happening as well. So
Oh yes, please. And we would also hope that there's someone to speak to the group about the project that's with one of you.
well, I would be there. I'd be there for that. So,
Yay.
Yep.
Okay, I think you've said it, but can you go back to where you are right now and sort of again the plan for new people that are here?
Yep. Yeah. So for the people that came in late, this is the current. These were taken as of last week. And sorry if I'm bouncing around. So basically,
Wow.
that is the building number 3 and building 6, so the south side of the site, as well as the 1-story clubhouse. So those are all the buildings are framed up, but 6, 3, and 1 on the south end all have siding and drywall going on right now, and hoping to get finished carpentry items going in the next month or two. And again, we're working from the south and then from the west, and then circling back to building 2. So the goal is to hopefully have 1, 3, 6, and 7, and possibly 5, have those wrapped up by September, and looking to hopefully have those come online, and then have the other 2 buildings come online towards the end of the year. We're still working that out with the city, and I want to make sure Adroit's comfortable with the schedule before we do a phased occupancy, because then we'll have to fence off the active construction zone from the residents that would be living there. So we just need to make sure we have a clear, concise plan on that. And so, yeah, so right now, we're shooting for a phased occupancy, but if not, we're looking for all the units to be coming online by November.
You said labor was challenging because of a high demand. So is the sub work, is that a potential delay in getting them available, or do you not
Nope.
foresee that as a problem? Oh, good for you.
No, that was in the beginning of the project, Michael,
Uh-huh.
with just the numbers.
Yeah.
Again, because all the subcontractors, no one was holding their pricing for like more than 2 weeks because
Mhm.
everything was just so busy and hectic.
Yeah.
So once we locked in those contracts, once we had the additional funds, no, the subs have been great. That's where we've actually bumped up. The schedule's been bumped up a couple months
Wow.
ahead of time. So, again, more credit to Adroit. They've been great to work with. And, they have their subs that they've hired on this, and they've just
Mm.
been going gangbusters and kind of knocking those buildings down by the phases. So, they've been doing great. So yeah, I don't foresee, again, knock on wood, I don't foresee any delays right now. They've done a good job of getting materials ordered. So they're not waiting on materials. They're showing up on time when we need them to keep things moving. So we're not
Right.
just sitting on the site like, the finished carpentry guys ready to set the cabinets, but there's no cabinets to set. So
Right.
yeah, so no, that hasn't been an issue so far. And we're hoping.
And that's all under Adroit's umbrella to manage that.
Yep. Yeah. So they're a third party
Okay.
GC. Then we have bi-weekly meetings with them, just going through
Uh-huh.
the schedule and everything else. So, yeah. Yep.
Very good. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. When you first showed those pictures, I didn't realize that was actually what's happening in Talent today. I thought those were other units that this is what it's going to look like, but it's real time. Wow.
Yep. And this was a week ago.
All
I
right.
keep meaning to drive past, but
Yeah, absolutely.
keep forgetting. Oh.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Well, does anybody have any more questions for Danny? We're getting close to our break time, and then we'll come back and do our check-in.
It really does seem to me that this
Sorry, Jose.
is, actually, let me finish. That this may be, in fact, the first real dent coming online.
Feels like it.
Yeah, where people can start to move to.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, aside
Fantastic.
from the manufactured homes, which, they're doing their best, but it's slow.
Right. It's very slow. Yeah.
So these are live?
Yep.
Not
They're-
live.
Well, they're not live to be lived in yet, but they are being built right now.
And we have we can be on the list or something, yeah, right? Because that looks good. Talent? Is that in Talent?
Yep.
Yep. On 232 Talent Avenue.
Okay, it's getting closer to Phoenix. Okay.
And you
thank you.
you said it was access that you go through in terms of for tenants?
No. So Access and Unite, we have MOUs with them. So we've reached out to them in the beginning of the project. Just to they basically how do I say this? So when we're able to market the units, Viridian will basically say, hey, anyone that wants to apply, we can apply through whatever channels they're going through.
Okay.
And so then like Unite, as well as Access will, if they have residents that are interested, they bring that up to them. And then they will, if anyone is even on this call or whoever's a part of the fire survivor group, works with Unite or Access, they can then get those services provided, to them. So it's just, we've reached out to them just saying, they're local community partners, and if there's any potential residents, they can provide services for the residents that would be living here if they're with those groups.
Yep.
Mhm. And if Access is keeping a list of interest, it would go through Will Emmond, and I can put his contact information in here.
Yeah, so I've been working with Kathy over at Unite.
Kathy Kazee.
Yep, and then Joe
Volmar.
Yeah, Joe Volmar.
Mhm.
And I forget his colleague over there as well.
Denise
she
Lupton.
I think that might be Denise. Yeah, sounds right. So, we've been in touch with them and giving them updates as well. So,
Yep.
So yeah, just trying to outreach as much as we can.
Fantastic. Yep. I can't find Will's phone number, but I do know his email address.
I've got it here somewhere myself.
Jose will probably beat me to it.
I have a random question. Did Commonwealth Company formerly own Talent Mobile Estates?
No, this is our first
Okay.
project in Jackson County.
It
Okay.
was Mr. Kim that owned Talent Mobile Estates.
Okay, because it was listed as a Commonwealth.
He may
Something
have been
or
working
other.
with them. They were probably, I don't know if it was a Commonwealth Construction. Is there a Commonwealth Property Management? I believe that's who he used for
It
property.
must have been, yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a Commonwealth Management Company. Like we
Okay.
have our own GC and own property management company, but they're not a part of this. Like we have some people on CMC that talk with Viridian Management, and our construction team that talk with Adroit, but they're not associated with this project. And Commonwealth hasn't been a part of any project in Jackson County.
What you were, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I have a large Facebook group that has like 2,100 people in it, and a lot of them are affected from the fire from the way beginning. Somebody else started it and handed it over to me. If this is good information, this is stuff that would reach out that way too. And I can hand out flyers if you want.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are here going to get excited as soon as I start telling them, because I'm going to start telling them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Sorry they missed the meeting tonight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
I'm
we
here to
have a
be loud out here.
It'll be on YouTube soon, so you can direct them there, Zoya, if they want to know about it.
Yay! Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I nerd out for just like one more second and
Please.
ask you, like, I don't know how OHCS works, the points, the incentivizing to like build it. If is there a way to get information around like the funding and how that this is being made possible in the background, so as to try and like create more opportunity for Sway? I just don't understand the numbers and like why Talent is doing this, like how Phoenix might take this on. Like it was a little over my head.
Yeah, there's always so OHCS, they have what's called I don't want to get too detailed, but there's like in the low income housing world, there's what they call 9% and 4% low income housing tax credits. And so the state agency, OHCS, they have what they call the QAP, a qualified allocation plan, and that gets published either, each state's different. I think, I'm not sure if OHCS is every other year or every year where they come out with a QAP, and there's certain rules and guidelines you have to follow, and then there's a scoring criteria.
Okay.
And some of it can be serve large family units, permanent supportive housing. Are you near like public transportation? Are you near like a grocery store, like you're not in a food desert? Accessibility, like are you maybe close to schools? There's a rural set aside, there's a metro set aside. There's just varying degrees. So like in the background of that, municipalities or individuals can reach out to OHCS and say like, hey, like there's a big need here. And so, I mean, it's kind of more so like the outreach. And then there's always a point in time when they draft the QAP before it gets reviewed and the governor approves it, that you can provide comment to the QAP.
Okay.
And so, that's kind of how it works. And, each state agency is kind of different, on how they want to allocate the credits that they've been given.
Okay. Lot to learn. Thank you so much for just giving me that little taste.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 sites in Ashland that have been identified as good places, but they keep getting shot down.
Are they not zoned?
No, they're zoned. Well, I don't know. One of them may not be. One of them was quite a while back, a mobile home park, because it was older than 1976. They weren't manufactured homes. They were mobile homes. Right across from where Wendy's is on Ashland Street, between the bank and the Panda Gardens or whatever it was called. And then there's another one that's I guess it's across the street from Billings, some of the Billings
Ranch.
Billings
Mm.
Ranch.
Mhm.
It's right next to the I can't remember which tire place. It's a It's
Yeah,
just,
it's
if you're going towards Ashland, it's right before the railroad track bridge
on the
on the
hillside.
right.
On the
Uh-huh.
right, yeah.
Yeah, Crystal, I mean, if you, I don't know if you have my contact information, but if you want to reach out to me,
I can get it to you.
I would
And-
love that. Yeah.
I mean, if there's, I forget what committee you said you're on, but, you know,
It's the
if there-
Ashland Housing Committee. It's just where the focus this year is on workforce housing. I mean, obviously they're dealing with lots of things like homelessness, but as well, but like, there's no housing. We know that it was already thin in the valley, and I'm like, what models do we have to reference? And this looks like such an amazing thing that's happening. I'm like, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to take what's already happening and just create more of it.
Mhm.
So if there's a way to get your contact, if there's interest from the committee, again, I'm kind of the person that kind of blasts out new information if there's anything. But, you know, if there's interest, genuinely, I would love to see if we can connect into the Ashland community.
Sure.
Okay,
Private messaging it to you right now. Actually,
awesome. Thank you so much.
I was gonna text it, but I haven't saved your phone number in my phone yet, so I don't know.
Okay,
There you go. There you go.
thank you.
You bet.
Thank you again so much, Danny.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Anything else or?
if we don't have any more questions, I'll go ahead and stop recording.
And thank you so much.
Last call.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. I know I was supposed to go next week, but yeah, able to bump it up. So I appreciate your flexibility.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I'm gonna stop recording.
I know. I'm like, I want to
hopefully
see
my-
this everywhere. It's amazing.
Because
thing.
it
Talk
is,
to Eric
it is,
Swanson.
because it
What
is
was that?
You have to convince Eric Swanson that Phoenix should have affordable housing.
who's Eric Swanson?
He's the city planner for Phoenix.
I've been talking to Zach Moody.
Oh, good. Zach's a little bit more